Oh, bro, it's moving. It's moving. What the f is that?
What happens when things get spooky and weird over farms? From creepy creatures and mutant buffaloes to strange worms and pig deers, here are things a farmer discovered outside his farm field.
Whoa! It's that? Way bigger! That's huge!
Black creepy creature. Two farmers in Mexico were awoken in the dead of night by the panic cries of their goats. They rushed outside to see what was happening, only to find a mysterious black creature hanging onto one of their goats' necks. Despite their best efforts, the creature wouldn't budge, and it took a few minutes of struggling before it finally let go and scurried away into the woods. The farmers tried to chase after it, but it vanished into thin air. What do you think that strange creature could be, and where did it come from? The mystery remains unsolved. A mutant goat. A farmer in Argentina was seriously shocked when he saw what his goat had given birth to. At first, he thought it was just a newborn thing, and the goat will get all normal when it grows old. But what he did not know was that he was wrong. The goat had a permanent problem with his face, and it was not going to go away on its own. The disturbing features of its face, which made it look like a human, had people coming from faraway places just to see what it looks like. A bizarre-looking thing. A clip recorded by a farmer in August of 2021 had everyone wondering, because what he found was something which did not look like anything known to man. While digging using the excavator, he discovered a huge worm-like creature. However, it was too big to be a worm and too small to be a snake. But then, what was it? If you know, do share with us too. The Death Circle. This creepy footage was recorded by a man who, when came out of his home, saw a group of turkeys involved in very odd behavior. These turkeys were circling a dead cat who was lying on the road. When it was uploaded on the internet, everyone was perplexed. However, we have the explanation for you. According to the researchers, the turkeys thought that the cat was a threat, hence they started investigating it. And because the turkeys usually stick together, so when one started circling, the others followed. And they all ended up in this twisted loop which we call the Death Circle. A mutant pig. When a farmer came to check on his pigs, he was astonished to see a weird thing lying there. A pig which looked more like a human than a pig. It had a human-like head and a long tongue, which made it look very weird. Terrified, he picked it up and wrapped it in a cloth, considering it was a newborn. After seeing the clip on the internet, the comment section is full of requests for a DNA test to see the reason behind this happening. Mouse plague. After spiders, weird creatures, and other things, Australia is now dealing with another problem, a mouse plague. At first, it was just a bunch of mice here and there, so the farmers did not pay much attention. But as the time passed, these little mischiefs started to become more and more in numbers, resulting in about hundreds and thousands of them. For now, they're living through the worst mouse infestation ever. More strength to you guys. A strange worm. While cleaning up his horse, this farmer saw something very weird crawling on the animal's body. As he picked it up, he was astonished to see that it was quite a long horsehair worm. It looks more like a moving thin wire or thread than it looks like a worm. Don't you guys agree? Good thing the farmer removed it from the poor horse's body. God knows to when it was tolerating the pain. A huge armadillo. Two farmers in Brazil happened to catch a big thing right on their farm. It was a massive armadillo wandering around the field. According to the farmers, as soon as they spotted the thing and were trying to catch it, the armadillo started attempting to burrow itself underground. However, it went all in vain as the farmers had already gotten their hand on its tail and were in no way letting the animal go.
Consegue erguer?
Não consegue nada.
A super goat. Ever seen a muscular goat? Well, if you haven't, we are here to show it to you. This man was out in the mountains hiking and stuff, and that is when he came across this muscular thing. He instantly knew that he had to record it on his phone and share it with the world, and so he did. The video instantly hit 4 million views on Twitter, and the netizens couldn't help but admire the body the goat had. A bear. This bear has been coming every night to see the chickens and check if he can get his hands on any of them. However, this one particular night he got a chance to try and enter the chicken coop, as no human or anything was around. As it was trying to chew the gate away, the owner of the chickens woke up, and the only way she knew to help her chickens was to scream. And she did that as loud as possible. And yes, of course it worked in scaring the bear away. The pig deer. Have you ever heard of the bizarre and fascinating pig deer? They are famous for being the most bizarre yet incredible animals ever. These pigs can grow fangs. Their canine teeth can grow up to 3 inches long. However, these fangs aren't always something good for them. As the fang grows, it also starts to curve down towards the head, and it also pierces through the head at times. So the farmers who keep their deer pigs make sure to cut it down or something, so the teeth does not grow through the skull. So have you fallen under the spell of the pig deer's creepy awesomeness yet? Gold. While leveling the ground and making it ready for the crops to grow, this scientist hit a jackpot. He found a small sack full of gold buried under the ground. And it wasn't just a little bit of gold. In fact, it was 11 pounds consisting of different gold coins and jewelry. Now, if you're thinking why is this man crying, so it isn't because someone took his gold, but because of the overwhelming happiness he felt with his discovery. And now he wants to build a temple there. Snapdragon. Behold the unusual snapdragon seed pod, which was found by a farmer and is now known to be the plant with the skulls. As the flowers wither, what remains are these miniature brown pods resembling tiny skulls, reminding us of nature's oddity. Interestingly, ancient cultures considered snapdragons to possess mystical powers and believed that planting them in gardens could ward off malevolent spirits and curses. Legends even suggest that consuming snapdragons could bestow women with everlasting youth and beauty. Who would have thought that such a diminutive plant could hold such fascinating tales and capabilities? An unknown animal. Is it a squirrel or a monkey or what? It looks tiny as a squirrel, but its face resembles more of a monkey than anything else, right? It was recorded by a farmer when he was out in the woods looking for something. We don't know what it is, but if you guys have any idea, do let us know. An alien. Now this video might be a little blurry and of low quality, but what it records is just out of this world. A creature with a head like a hammer appeared on the roof of a camper out of nowhere, and after alerting the humans with its shrill voice, vanished. While some say it looked like a dog and others said a monkey, to us it resembles none of these animals. But then, what was it? Nobody knows. A worm monster. If you're thinking this is a brain, you're wrong. It is a massive cluster of hundreds of sluggish, creepy worms. The worms were just everywhere, and the man who recorded it in Texas said it was the most disgusting thing that ever happened. However, it isn't exactly that weird. These are tubifex worms, or sewage worms living while forming colonies. And yeah, their colonies look like a creepy moving human brain. A massive fish. In Louisiana, a woman was out when she came across this eerie sight. A massive creature who looks like a crocodile from the front, but as a woman moves towards its back while recording, it appears more like a fish. And the size of the thing was a mystery of its own. We don't know if it's an art piece or a real fish once caught and put on display now. It just looks very terrifying from the clip. I would never dare go near it under any circumstances. An unknown animal. We know that there have been many sightings of the considered extinct Tasmanian tiger, but this one looks like the most convincing of all. Some farmers in Balochistan caught this animal when it was wandering around their livestock and recorded its video. The pattern, the voice, the body, it all points in one direction, that the Tasmanian tiger isn't actually extinct. It is alive, just hidden from us human beings. A big goat. So picture this, a massive goat thinking it's all alone decides to bust out its demon walk. But little did it know, there was a dude nearby with a camera, capturing every step of its two-legged strut. Now when this video hit the internet, people lost their minds. Some even questioned if this goat was some sort of skinwalker. Crazy, right? We're not totally convinced, but we want to hear what you guys think. Let us know in the comments. A cursed goat. When this goat showed up with glowing eyes, just standing outside the door, not just the family, but everyone who saw it on the internet was freaked out. Some even said that this was the legendary skinwalker. We don't know who filmed it, but what we do know is that if the goat showed up on my door, I won't be able to sleep for days.
Ma! Yo, there's a stray cat outside!
There's a chance that it might be a fake, but honestly, I don't think so. A dinosaur. Some researchers in China found this baby dinosaur lurking in the woods. Or did they really find it, or actually were able to create it after hundreds and thousands of experiments done on the dinosaur fossils? And the way the madman is holding the dinosaur, it looks like he's been trained to live calmly among the humans. We are still not sure if it's real or not, but if it is, then God save us all, because we don't know what more might be coming. A mermaid. What you see right here is a weird fish some fishermen caught in India. To some, it may look like a mermaid. However, to others, it looks like a mutant fish or something. With a fish-like face and tail and human-like hands, maybe this is what real mermaids are like. Don't you guys think so? Snakes. The clip shows a group of farmers who discover giant anacondas hiding in their farm under a thick layer of mud. The farmers, realizing the danger these snakes pose to their livestock, called in professional hunters to take care of the situation. When the hunters arrived, they were in disbelief at the size of the anacondas they had to deal with. The snakes were so massive that they had the hunters in shock. However, they still somehow managed to push the snakes to go live and lay eggs somewhere else, but that alone took hours of struggles for these men. A mammoth skeleton. Back in 2015, James Bristol and his buddy were digging around in a soybean field down in southern Michigan. As they were going along, they stumbled upon what they thought was a weird-looking fence post that was covered in mud. But turns out it was actually a piece of pelvis from a woolly mammoth that lived like 15,000 years ago. After that, some experts from the University of Michigan and a big machine thing came over to help out. Together, they found like 20% of the whole mammoth skeleton. They got the skull, 2 tusks, lots of vertebrae, ribs, and both shoulder blades. The scientists took everything they found to do more research on the mammoth and figure out what might have caused it to pass on. A weird creature. Ever seen a hybrid of a dog, human, and a fish? Well, we have it for you right here. Some men in Mexico happened to come across this weird creature lying lifeless on a beach. While filming it, they realized it had a face like a dog, arms and legs like a human, and then it had claws too. I mean, what could it be? A merman? Or just a decayed body of a dog? We can never say for sure. A hybrid. Can you imagine a hybrid between a crocodile and a buffalo? You can't, right? Well, it actually happened in Thailand, where a baby buffalo which looked like a crocodile with scales on its skin was caught by some villagers. While it had everyone thinking how this can happen, some research revealed that the poor baby buffalo was just suffering from a bad skin disease which made it look like that. The calf became so famous that it had visitors coming in every day just to see the crocodile-buffalo mixture. A werewolf. While doing his usual work, the farmer began to notice that his livestock were going missing gradually. He did not know what was causing it, but he knew that he had to stop it. So he put a trap and waited. And guess what he caught? A werewolf! As you can see in the video, it is tied down on a stretcher maybe. Experts were asked to take the being and do whatever they wanted to do with it. At least the farmer's livestock were safe now. The smallest horse. Now this family's pregnant horse gave birth to something very cute and very small. Well, literally, it is the smallest horse in the world, and due to its unique appearance and condition, the family has decided to take it in as their own, and he lives in the house with humans now. He goes out with the family, wears clothes, has dinner with them, and enjoys playtime. In fact, he's more of a puppy than a horse to these people. Isn't this the most adorable thing you've come across today? Space debris. It isn't just weird creatures and skeletons that the farmers find on their land. Sometimes it is things from space as well. For instance, this one farmer, when in the morning he came to his field to start work, he found strange black objects scattered everywhere on his farm. It happened in Australia, and at first the farmer, just like most of us, was shocked and concerned, thinking what it might actually be. However, later the Australian Space Agency confirmed that it was just space debris, which was part of a space mission or something. So yeah, nothing to be concerned about here. Texas Longhorn. Have you ever seen those Texas Longhorn cows? They're famous for their big honking horns that can stretch over 100 inches. Usually the horns on the cows and bulls are around 4 feet or less. But when it comes to the adult male steers, their horns can average out to be like 6 feet or more. Crazy, right? And get this, a 15-year-old steer can have horns that reach up to 9 feet long. A strange baby. In 2021, this alpaca over in the UK gave birth to this super skinny, weird-looking baby. People went wild over it, let me tell you. The thing only weighed like 13 pounds at birth, and since alpacas don't clean their own young, the farm owner had to step up and do it for the little guy. Even though it looked all weak and fragile, the farmer was quick to reassure everyone that this was totally normal for baby alpacas. Once they dry off, they get all fluffy and don't look so bony. But get this. Some folks online are claiming that the baby alpaca is actually some kind of alien or a rare freak of nature. Ha! The truth is, this is just how baby alpacas roll. A chonky pig. This chonky pig was rescued in Massachusetts after the cops found her at her owner's place. They said she was twice the weight of a regular pig. Can you believe it? Officials found that the pig was chowing down on dog food, which totally added to her super size. The Animal Rescue League of Boston said Maybelle weighed almost 200 pounds and that the fat above her eyes was so heavy she couldn't even open them. Good thing she's in care of good people now and is recovering. Mutant pig. So down in South America, there was this farmer who was stoked to hear that his lady pigs were about to pop out some babies. More piglets meant more money in his pocket, and that's just how he rolled. But when one of the little piggies was born, it was a total freak show. This thing looked like no pig he'd ever seen before. So he whipped out his phone, filmed it, and threw it up on the internet. People went nuts, man. Some folks were saying it was some kind of half-human, half-pig mutant. Others thought it was some kind of freaky alien creature. But really, nobody knows what the deal was with that weirdo piglet. A baby horse. Now, this farmer was helping his horse give birth. When the little foal finally pops out, it takes a hot minute for the farmer to realize what's up. And let me tell you, those few minutes were absolute torture for the poor guy. He was freaking out, thinking the baby horse was maybe dead or something. But thankfully, that wasn't the case. The foal was just taking its sweet time getting untangled from the stress of being born into this crazy world. A weird ancient animal. So there was this farmer who was coming back home from a long day of doing his thing in his fields. And guess what? He saw something super weird. It was the remains of this strange animal, and it left him totally amazed. The creature had these crazy eyes and limbs that were even crazier, and some folks thought it might be a duck or a ginormous bird. But others were all like, nah, this is probably fake. A bunch of experts tried to check it out, but they couldn't say for sure what it was. So yeah, the whole thing is still a big mystery, and everybody's still trying to guess what the heck this thing was. The subscribers pick. This image is taken from a video which showed a bunch of researchers in a place with no one around. They looked pretty suspicious as they were carrying an unknown creature on a stretcher. For those who still can't guess what the creature was, it was a mermaid. I mean, look at its tail. Now the question is, what exactly are these researchers and scientists hiding from us? What do you guys think? Giant vulture. The Andean condor is a massive vulture that inhabits South America. In the video, you can easily see how much larger this bird is than a typical human adult. When a farmer discovered one near his livestock, he became understandably concerned. These birds are usually found in the Andes Mountains and on the adjacent Pacific coast of western South America. They have an impressive wingspan of 3.3 meters and weigh a whopping 33 pounds. Although primarily scavengers, they prefer to feast on large carcasses like those of deer or cattle. Not only are they the largest flying bird, but they are also the largest hunting bird in the world. Remarkably, they can live as long as an average human and build their nest at elevations of up to 5,000 meters. Well, that's all for today, guys. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for getting updates related to our latest videos.